Good morning. Thank you for joining the demo on Domo course overview today. We'll be covering what is Domo, why Domo is important in today's context in any of the analytics space in brief details as we go over the slides today. So let's start with understanding the Domo trainer first. Myself, I'm Geeta. I've been in the industry for about 18 plus years doing multiple roles. I've been in the analytics and reporting space for about 10 plus years now. I've done B2C analytics, B2B. I've covered social media, sales, digital marketing, all kind of domains, analytics, and I've worked on different BI tools like Power BI, Advanced Excel. In the recent past, in the last 5 years, I've been extensively using Domo, and I got Domo certified this year in Jan 2021, which covers extensive 4 online tests and multiple project submissions to be certified as a major Domo. So those are some skill sets that I have, and the breadth of experience in the analytics space is about 10 years plus. So I look forward to kind of helping you with the Domo content. So that's about me, and then we'll understand, what's the scope in the demo session for today. We'll spend a little bit of time understanding what really is Domo and why do we need to learn Domo, right? So Domo is a cloud-based platform which offers the businesses to first extract data from any data sources or data connections that each organizations may have. Today, all of the organizations are moving their data structure into cloud, and hence Domo becomes that much more easier and flexible to connect and get those data into the system and then process it and create dashboards or create analytics in a meaningful way for the business leaders. One of the greatest advantages of Domo is the setup is very, very fast and quick. Either to connect to multiple data sources or to just go live or give users the access for Domo is extremely user friendly and doesn't require a large scale IT team to kind of set up the whole visualization BI platform. So that's really the greatest advantage of Domo. So because it is cloud based, connecting to any connections like your CRM systems in your businesses, like your Salesforce or any of the customer facing tools that the organizations may be using, we can extract data from those very quickly and pretty much in real time. It could be your website, Google Analytics, or CRM systems, or any of your web-based tools, or any different connections. Since it's on cloud-based, it allows us to do real-time reporting. And why do we need Domo? Because I think all the businesses are now evolving into not just having real-time reporting, but allowing any employee or any business person to have data in their hands really fast so that they can take data-based decisions, right? And also it's important for organizations to enable their business leaders with critical performance indicators for them to help in their decision making. So Domo enables that pretty much in real time. It's mobile friendly. It's anywhere you could just track the performance of any KPIs that we have defined within the Domo platform. Hence Domo acts as a self-serve tool. So any person who has access to Domo will be able to kind of filter the dashboard for their department, for their team specifically, and look at their performance, right? They don't have to be technically qualified to actually look at the reports or dashboards and apply the filters. It's pretty intuitive. It's it's like a GUI interface, like a graphical user interface, where any person who doesn't understand the data engineering aspect of the analytics will still be able to kind of self-serve their data needs. So that's why Domo is kind of picking up very, very fast. Domo has been very recent addition, I would say, in the BI space, business intelligence space, right? Because I say that because Domo was founded only in 2010. There are other players in the BI industry like Tableau, Power BI, which are which have been in this space for a long time. However, Domo being new has been able to capture the businesses quite fast and is growing quite extensively. Many companies have adopted Domo in their organization for their reporting and analytics needs. Hence, and the reason for that market share for Domo is because of its flexibility and cloud app based programs. So it's widely getting adopted in many organizations, B2B and B2C alike. So many companies are kind of integrating their data analytics within Domo. Hence, it's important that we learn Domo. It will give you a 360 view of how to extract data, how to process the data, and how to present it in a simple and effective way for business leaders to understand, right? So it's all in one, which we could just do on one web-based platform, all the ETL and all the data visualizations, everything in one platform. So that's why we need to kind of know Domo and learn Domo, as it helps us in faster decision making. So that's about Domo. So in this course specifically, because Domo is pretty comprehensive, right? We have to extract data within Domo. We have to process the data within Domo, and then kind of present it like a dashboard. So there are 3 stages I would call for Domo, right? Understanding the data connections, transforming, and data visualization. So that's how we've structured our training as well in our institute. So you will get to begin with understanding how the interface of Domo is, what is Domo, and how is it being in terms of price structure across organizations. Is it user based, data based, or how do we govern Domo? So that's the beginning you will start with, and then we will kind of give you a preview of how the interface looks like. How do we connect to Domo? What are the different tabs and different links that we see within Domo? So the platform familiarity is what we will spend next time on, followed by we'll break the next concepts into data extraction. So we will learn about different data connections that we have within Domo. How can you extract the data and get it inside of your instance? Once we understand all the data connectors, there are almost, I would say, 500 plus or 1000 plus connectors. So it's impossible to learn each and every connector, but on a high level, we'll try and touch base on top 5 connectors. And from that, you get a hang of how to extract the data. And any connector, it's pretty much the same process of extracting the data. So we look at top 3 to 5 connectors and extract the data. And then once we are comfortable extracting the data, then we move on to covering the data transformation aspect of Domo, where we specifically spend time on understanding the 3 different data transformation methods that Domo has. They call it as Magic ETL, MySQL, and the Fusion. These are the broad 3 categories that we have in data transformation. So we will cover each of these in detail with one live example, as in a one case study we will give, and we will kind of work together to do data transformations. In the Fusion, we'll look at how to merge large data sets and renaming columns. And then in the Magic ETL, again, we'll try to learn on how to join multiple data sets and perform some of the string functions like concatenating or cleaning up your values by leading or training spaces and so on. So there'll be another data set that we will share, which will have examples of these for you to kind of practice it live. And then in the MySQL data transformation, We'll again provide you with 3 different sample data sets, which we will have to join and perform basic SQL operations like renaming a column or changing some of the column values to a different value, and then making a final data flow of the all integrating all the 3 data sets that we've provided. So those are the 3 different types of data transformation we have, and we will give one case study for each of the data transformations and see the most commonly used transformation in each of these. We'll have examples of each of the most commonly used transformation. So once we get comfortable with extracting the data, transforming the data, then we move to the final stage of data analyzing, right, which is data visualization. So we start with visualization not in Domo, but getting to the basics of understanding the principles of visualization, right? What are the best practices? What are the best charts to be using for a business question? So is it a time series kind of business question that we want to show? If it is a time series, what does the data visualization principles say? That which card should we choose, and what's the best graph to work on for those. So we'll just go back to the basics for half an hour or so and understand the data visualization principles, and then we will start building the different charts or graphs, as you may want to call it, within Domo. So here again we'll kind of work on a data set, a case study where we'll specifically work on email marketing or a marketing automation dashboard, where we'll kind of show different KPIs like how many emails did we send, how many were kind of getting delivered, and so on, right? So the dashboard will give insights to the marketing automation leader into what kind of email should they send, what should be the frequency of their email, and so on, right? So we learn about visualization and then putting all that in a dashboard and sharing with the leaders or the stakeholders of your organization, right? So that's what we will cover. Once we've covered the data visualization, then we end up the training by kind of consolidating all our remaining topics, like creating alerts, subscribing to alerts or notifications, how to handle buzz, how do you do your admin stuff within Domo, like adding users or deleting or moving a page. All of those will be at the end of the training session, where we will look at some of the admin functions of Domo and understand those in detail as well. So that's really the course outline. It's very comprehensive outline. With this as a beginner, you will be all set to kind of ready to get your data organization's data in, work on it, and build your basic dashboards, right? So it's a great beginner course curriculum that we've put, keeping in mind different domains and different industries. The analyst should be able to kind of get started as soon as you complete this course. So that's what we have on the outline. And then we have, like I said, we have add-on topics. Like we've divided the curriculum into these 3 broad categories: data connections, data transformation, and different types of dashboards. Domo has 2 types of dashboards: standard page and Domo story. Most of the organizations these days are adopting to Domo stories format, but there may be legacy dashboards in the older format, and hence we have included that in our curriculum as well, just in case you see some old dashboards, you understand the layout, and you're still comfortable to work on those older dashboards as well. So those are some of the add-on topics. I wouldn't say add-on, but these are really the main topics that we will cover in detail during our course, followed by 3 main projects. So all of these work that we have on the connector, transformation, and the visualization will get explained based on the 3 projects that we will review now. So the project 1 really is about the magic ETL, right? So when we move to the data transformation section of our training, we'll start with this data set. This data set is typically kind of explains how many visitors are coming to a company and who are the visitors, right? Is it is it Geeta? Is it a account or a big account that has come in like Microsoft, Amazon, or who is coming to the website? And that company internally within the organization, who owns that account? So if a visitor is from Microsoft, who should be notified? Who is managing the Microsoft account, right? So that's seller information. So there are three different kinds of data sets that we will try to um, bring together in the ETL platform. So you will have the visits data, that's your table one, and then the second data will be your visitor identification, which is sitting in a different data set. And then the third is your employees, who are your sellers, who are managing these visitors, right? So you'll kind of put all this together in the transformation using a technique called Magic ETL. We'll see how to join, how to identify which is the primary key here to combine these data sets, and how do we make it meaningful for a person who is just wanting to understand how many visitors came from of for the accounts that a seller A is handling, right? If there is a seller who has 10 accounts with him, if he has to call all of that 10 accounts, then which account should be prioritized, right? So he can look at this report and see that out of the 10 accounts, these 2 accounts are visiting our company site more often, so I should call them. So those are the kind of insights that this transformation will help generate once we kind of complete the ETL process. So here we will learn how to perform all those backend operations. Really, this does not go into the data visualization yet. So this data set is basically to understand your data transformation in detail using the Magic ETL. So when we complete the project one and we are comfortable extracting the data, transforming the data in ETL, we move on to our second project, which basically will spend time on understanding the MySQL operations, right? When to use MySQL, when to use Magic ETL, those are some questions that is individual choice preference. Domo has given these options for us as analysts, whichever we are comfortable with, we can leverage those data transformations, right? So if analyst is very comfortable using Magic ETL, they are more than welcome to use that. If the analyst is very good at writing queries, then MySQL is the data transformation that we should opt for, right? So here it's not GUI based, it's not like a drag and drop function here. You'll have to write your MySQL queries to combine data, to do any string functions, to do any kind of operation. It's like you're writing a SQL query, like how you would do in your T-SQL or a MySQL or P-SQL, right? So that's how the transformations will happen in the second project. So again, we'll have like different input data connections here. Here we are trying to understand the revenue for the organization, and we will show the revenue by account and by industry and by sellers. So here we have different tables where we have stored this revenue information, right? So one table will have revenue for each seller, and the other table will show what did we sell, right? What was the type of sale? And the third data set will have, whom did we sell it to? Like, who was the account? Which industry do they fall into? Are they a retail account? Are they a banking account? And so on, right? So that's what the industry and the account mapping, and who is assigned to that account to sell for those accounts, the seller information. So we'll have these three different data sets, which we will combine using the MySQL operations. Again, we'll kind of focus on the most commonly used MySQL operations in any industry, right? In any kind of data set that we work, what are the common SQL string functions or other operations that are used? That's what we'll focus. So it could be calculating margin percentage or revenue percentage, or calculating margin in itself, right? Or we can kind of look at how to clean up the seller information when anytime we have columns capturing in text data type. We'll have to ensure that there is consistency, that we are kind of cleaning up the data in a way that it becomes readable. So all of those data cleaning is what we will learn in MySQL using different operations that we have. So once we are comfortable in MySQL transformation and the Magic ETL, we'll also kind of spend time on the Fusion, which I've not added here, but there is another data transformation called Data Fusion. So we'll have an example of a case study of joining using the Fusion data transformation as well. So once we've completed all that three, then is when we kind of move to the biggest section of our course, which is the dashboard development, right? So where we kind of visualize all our data that we have brought into Domo. So that's where we'll use this project. So we'll use a data set which talks about how many emails is a company sending, what type of emails are this company sending, and how are the users engaging with the email content, right? So that's really the data set. Based on that data set, we'll think and come up with a list of metrics that we want to show in dashboard. So as a first step, we will think and come up with the KPIs that we feel are important for the business. And then those KPIs will not be a straightforward KPI. So we'll have to build calculations which are in Domo's language called as a beast mode. So we'll use and learn beast mode calculations in this project. And we'll start building cards based on the metrics that we decided that we want to show, right? So once we build all the cards, then we will learn about designing a dashboard. So we'll spend a little time on using the same cards that we've built in two types of dashboard. One is the standard page dashboard and the other is a Domo story dashboard. So we'll organize it in a way that is easy for a user to read and understand. While we do this, we'll also learn about what's the difference between a collection and a story format. When we export these dashboards, how does it look? When we share it to an user, what are the ways where we can share it? Can we share these dashboards publicly? As in, if a user does not have a Domo license, how do we share data with them? Those are things that will get covered when we work on this live project here. So once we have completed all the three labs, this will give you a pretty good confidence that now you can go and not only establish a connection with your data source, but you should be by now confident of transforming those data into making it sense to your business questions that you want to show in a dashboard, right? So by the time we complete those project three, you will get a pretty good hands-on experience of doing everything on Domo. So all we need for you to practice is just a Chrome or a Edge connection with a good internet, right? There is a free trial version that we will provide from the institute for the credentials. You can use that, and we will learn or use all our case studies in that Domo version, free trial version. It's for 30 days, and we'll use the same credentials throughout our training to practice all of these projects. So as easy as it can be, right? It's just a very minimal setup required for Domo course. And then, like I said, MySQL operations or Domo also has Redshift SQL operations. So you should have a basic understanding of how to write a query in MySQL. So that's when we'll be able to comfortably do the ETL transformations there. Our course does not get into the detail of query writing or explaining queries, right? This course will focus on writing queries within Domo with the assumption that you have a basic understanding of how to write queries and work with queries, right? If not, it's not too complicated. You can always go to this website called w3schools.com, and they have a pretty basic and nice beginner kind of explanation of all of these, or which will help you. Or Magic ETL will always come to your rescue. If you don't know how to write SQL, you're still good, because Domo also offers Magic ETL through which you can build all your data transformations and then build the visualization. That's just something good to know, so you can always learn SQL operations from this website. So I think, all of us, we want to know once we have learned, obviously we want to kind of grow in the career, or kind of take that leap into a data analytics field or the data science field, right? Specifically, if you're going to organizations where they use Domo and they want to hire a person who has Domo skills, these are some of the common questions that get asked, right? There are plenty, but I think most commonly this is what organizations would look for, right? Because in the real world, companies will have large data sets to work with. Although throughout the training, we'll be working on not more than 5,000 rows. But in the real world, it's not so, right? I mean, there'll be millions and millions of rows through which each of the organizations will have to work as analysts, right? So the first question will be to familiarize or understand how good are you in Domo working on large sets. They could start with that. And if they are a Domo user from a long time, maybe they have dashboards in the older format. So maybe they want to assess you with, what's the difference, what's the story in a normal dashboard. So those are some questions that they may ask on the types of dashboards. And if they have a limited license, they possibly want to understand, how good are you in sharing Domo insights with a non-Domo user. So that's where our Domo share public or Domo embed knowledge will get tested. And we really want to take quick decisions, right, as business. So they want to understand how quickly can you give insights, or how do you notify someone if a metric is good or bad. So you should understand that they're talking about alerts and notifications. They will not ask you like a technical person, how do you set up an alert, right? So they may ask a business question saying that, our revenue has fallen down. What is the best way to tell the chief revenue officer, right? So then, you should think about, yeah, alerts and notifications are something that we can leverage to notify the revenue officer, right? So those are some questions. And any questions on visualization or best practices on dashboard building. Those are some things, if they are heavily starting to build dashboards now, they want to see your understanding or your approach of how you want to build a dashboard. So these are some common interview questions. If someone is trying to appear for an interview, we can certainly spend a few minutes in detail, so you can kind of get a mock interview with us and you're prepared for that, right? So we can include that as well. So that's one. And then after all this, how all of us want to be like, certified, right? Domo has a Domo certification which it offers to all of the any person who wants to take it, right? But it comes with a cost though. So it's about, I think, $500 or something, $600. And it's valid for 2 years. Although after 1 year we have to recertify ourselves on the professional and the specialist, but the certification is broken up into three, right? So it's the first one is called Domo Professional, where they assess basically on your dashboard development, the cards development, all of that. And the second certification will be as a data specialist. Here they will assess you mostly on your transformation skills like Magic ETL, Workbench, Data Fusion, and all of that. And the third one is the major Domo. Here they will assess you on your admin related tasks, like how do you certify a project, how do you add users, and so on, right? So by the time you complete all of these three, you're really a major Domo because you understand all aspects of Domo very clearly. So that's the certification that you can think about after completing this course. If you're interested, you may want to enroll and get certified, right? That's what is the industry certification that's available for Domo professionals. And of course, after you complete the training with us with MindMajix, you will get the certificate, which kind of says that you've completed our training program, and a happy moment for you to celebrate. Right? So yeah, as always, our MindMajix facilitator team is always available if you have any concerns or any feedback or anything that you want to be added in a curriculum or anything like that, any questions at all. That's our email address and that's the phone number where you can reach our fantastic support team who are always available to help you as you come to the training journey with us with our institute. So with this, I hope that you like the demo session and you're excited to enroll for this training. We are excited to have you in our training batch as well. Trust in us, and you will have one of the best training experience with us. Thank you so much for your patience to listen to this demo session. Hope to see you in our training batch. Thank you and have a great day.